All right, so I'm Mitch Sink.
I'm Lindsey Baker.
I'm Logan White.
I'm Caleb Walsh.
And I'm Ben Nelson.
Our topic is social responsibility of content creators. I'm going to take point and start talking about Twitch, the live streaming gaming platform that many streamers use to gather large audiences of viewers. A professional streamer named Carl Raymer was drunkenly fooling around with a firearm on his stream when he accidentally fired the weapon. He thought it was unloaded, but it still had one in the chamber. And he got banned from Twitch, which I think is the right thing to do, honestly. But more importantly, he has a large following of younger viewers. He's very famous for being a pro player in Call of Duty, which tends to draw in a lot of a younger audience. When he's performing acts like this on his streams or his content, do you think he should be trying to hold up his end by creating more responsible media since he knows he has a younger audience?
Personally, I think so. Just because if he does have a younger audience, YouTube and Twitch should be able to clip whatever they want out of their videos, because these kids are going to see it and repeat what they're doing, and that could be highly offensive in school to some teachers or whatever.
Not to mention, isn't Call of Duty like a war game? So why is Call of Duty like having such a younger audience to begin with?
I just know that Call of Duty's always had a younger audience, even though you do have to be 18 or older to buy the games. A lot of parents buy the games for their younger teens and their younger children. Most people, I know for a fact that whenever I've played Call of Duty, even when I was a child, there was a lot of children playing as well. So it's not out of the ordinary for kids to get a hold of games like that and become involved in like the media that surrounds it.
Also, with Battle Royale right now, I think that's just kind of the game that a lot of this generation plays, which COD just came out with. Fortnite does a lot of that. If you guys want to switch over to another topic, I know this guy's very controversial. He's another streamer. He does a lot of PewDiePie. I know when we were growing up, he did, I think it was Slenderman games, and I don't know, there's probably a whole list of them. But, he has the audience, just like Delore and, these other guys we were talking about. PewDiePie has 103 million subscribers. But, this mass shooting that happened in New Zealand on March 15, 2019 against two mosques, the guy actually streamed the whole thing, and it said, "Remember, lads, subscribe to PewDiePie," which subscribe to PewDiePie started as a meme anyway. It was for, I think it was T-Series, which is an Indian channel. They were growing in ranking on YouTube. And so PewDiePie started this meme, basically taking a side, subscribe to PewDiePie. So do you guys think it's PewDiePie's responsibility that this guy said, hey, subscribe to PewDiePie, as he was live streaming, shooting up these two mobs?
I don't think it's his responsibility that he said it. I think it's his responsibility what he does about it.
I agree 100% with that. I was going to say that what he does with the aftermath of that, like since he pulled the plug on it and said that the meme should stop, I feel like that was definitely the right move, especially after such like a tragedy happened. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the most ethical thing to do in his position, is to just advise people to stop using that meme, since it already has like set its place in history, I guess.
Yeah, and once you start something, you really can't control it on that type of a scale, and so you really do need to be careful with what beast you let out of the cage. And in this place that was really bad.
Yeah, and he ended up stopping that whole meme, just because he said it ended up transforming into just spreading hate, which we obviously saw with the live stream of killing the people in the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult because obviously I don't think PewDiePie's content caused this guy to do this. I think this was a bad guy, and he was going to do this, and then he knew that he would, I don't know, relate to some people by screaming subscribe to PewDiePie after he did this. So props to PewDiePie, because I think he did the right thing when he put an end to the meme.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think it was the right thing to do, ethically.
In terms of YouTube content creators, there's another guy, former content creator on YouTube called J Station. He is considered the king of clickbait lies because he used to post a lot of stuff that was just downright not true. After Mac Miller, the famous rapper, died, the next day, he posted a video using a spirit box and summoned Mac Miller's spirit. And then he did the same thing for when the gamer Etika died. He posted a video and apparently summoned his spirit as well, just to get the views. Other examples include he was apparently robbed and beaten up in his own house, but according to police reports, that never happened. And his girlfriend died, according to one of his videos, but then it came out that she actually just broke up with him. And so he's since quit YouTube because his content was all based on lies. There are a lot of people who create content like this now on YouTube. What is their moral responsibility to their audience? I mean, this especially caters towards kids who are looking for like real type of content. Like, wow, I can't believe this actually happened, and when in reality it didn't. So what is someone like J Station? What is his obligation to do to not post this kind of stuff?
I think for some of those situations, like the Mac Miller and the Etika, or even the fact that he released a video saying his girlfriend was dead, I instantly shoot. When I think about it, like I think about the golden rule. Like I'd rather, if I died, I wouldn't want people posting videos about them trying to summon me so they could get clicks the day after. Clearly, when I think of YouTube, there's some people that are just trying it for the grind. They're trying to get as much money as possible. They don't care about the content that they're creating. And then on the other hand, there's the people who really want to create content that people look up to and be like, wow, they tried really hard on this. They're considering the audience first rather than what's coming into them when it comes to money wise and whatnot. So I just think that's really ethically wrong, especially with like the Etika and the Mac Miller, especially because since they had actually died. And I know that Etika had a lot of very loyal viewers on his videos and whatnot that were really, really sad about what happened. And I know that if I were infatuated by his content, I wouldn't want to see that on my feed just because I like Etika,
Yeah, and the fact that this guy did it the day after that Mac Miller had died, it's pretty messed up. He's pulling emotional strings from people and just for money, and I don't think that's right, to be honest, at all.
Yeah, people in this profession should not really be profiteering off of death, like no matter who it is, and because that's just say straight up like. It not only does it feel like murder, it also feels like a murder plus a robbery because like you are just blatantly just insulting people like that are 6 feet under while you are still alive, and it's like that's just not cool.
So another YouTuber who has caused a lot of problems around herself and her channel, her name's Trisha Paytas. She has 4.9 million subscribers and a really like deep following from her like past videos to now. Throughout her entire channel, she's really been somebody who causes like problems. But more recently, 2 videos that she's posted have really had a lot of like negativity come back towards them. So on October 7th, this past year, she posted a video titled "I am transgender female to male." And in the video, she claimed that she is transgender and that she's basically a gay man who likes drag because she likes gay men and glam. And she also talks about how she doesn't feel connected to one identity, but blatantly says that she does not have dissociative identity disorder. And then on March 12th, a couple weeks ago, she posted a video titled "Meet My Alters, Dissociative Identity Disorder," where she openly admitted that she has not been professionally diagnosed with the disorder and has used many old and outdated terms that have offended a lot of other people. And another YouTuber that actually has dissociative identity disorder came out and said, "It's hard to sit here and watch someone call me crazy and spread information that's very incorrect and damaging to our community." So with her large following, she has a responsibility to those who are in the LGBTQ plus community and those with dissociative identity disorder but she's using this as a grounds to just bring attention to herself and to her channel.
And it almost comes back to like the whole like dead people being risen back from the dead thing. Like you are just blatantly insulting those who are like suffering from like this mental disorder and whatnot. And like it's just so disheartening to see that like people are making fun of this for money.
Right, I agree.
When I'm looking at this, 4.9 million people, that's a lot of people. And there's going to be a wide variety, like a wide diversity of people who fall into that 4.9 million, whether they're in the LGBTQ plus community or whether they have DID. So like, I think she's being very irresponsible with the power she has as a creator, full well knowing that no matter what, she's going to get a check or at least more subscribers or viewers. But ethically, I think it's really, really wrong. I'm looking at it from like a communitarian aspect. She's kind of just undermining two whole communities there, people with mental disorders or people in the LGBTQ plus community. I think that she's just completely undermining both of those communities. And I'm sure that there's a decent, at least a small to decent portion of her followers that fit into one of those categories.
Yeah, I think the person who even like put that quote out there was somebody who like watched her and was like, this is completely just like slapping me in the face with making fun of me, basically.
And I think it would be smart to take a veil of ignorance approach to this, because with that, you want to protect the weakest party. And people with dissociative identity disorder, they're not very well represented in American media. So for someone to say that they may have it, they've never been tested, they've never been diagnosed with it, but they do have it, I feel like that's morally wrong, and it does more harm to people with that, because it further disvalues like what they are as people, and I think it also hurts the transgender community as well, and they are also not very well represented in media. So I feel like this is obviously just like a cash grab, try to grab at whatever community she can get and just go from there.
And speaking of unethical people, let's just dive into the rabbit hole. Who here wants to talk about Logan Paul? Yeah, so if you don't know, Logan Paul, a social media star, in late 2017, early 2018, went to Japan to upload some footage for his YouTube channel with his brother, Jake. And it went sour pretty quickly. He went to go visit a forest where people are known to commit suicide. And Logan then captures footage of someone recently having been taking his own life, and he even put a still image of that footage in his thumbnail. But that's not where it ends. Days later, he then uploads a video of himself pretending to be shot in the back of the head. And days later after that, a leaked video shows that his brother was using the N-word multiple times. And days after that, Jake then uploaded a video with his girlfriend simulating a lot of sexual behavior. This all comes at a time when Jake is like also promoting his merchandise far more frequently than others, I might add. And most of his audience is under the age of 17, or at least that area. But the most disturbing thing is YouTube's algorithm allowed all these videos to remain trending throughout the website because of the feature it has to allow videos to keep trending because of outside sources, i.e. news outlets, because this got a whole widespread much of attention, like NPR, Washington Post, New York Times, MSNBC, Fox News, CNN. It was everywhere. So YouTube and the news media has disowned his behavior, but they still gave it attention anyway. There is this saying in the press that like there is no such thing as bad press. Press is good press no matter what. So why give this disownable behavior any press at all? Like, who should be responsible for any actions potentially mimicked by these two brothers? The two brothers themselves, or YouTube and the news media who spread this footage worldwide?
I mean, personally, I think it'd be the Paul brothers who would be, the reason for these. Like, if people did start to mimic them, like it'd be their fault. Obviously, they didn't make good decisions as to what to post and what not to post. Like, again, it kind of just seems like a money grabbing scheme. Like, they posted this stuff to get more views, to get more money. Like, that's all they really cared about. They showed a dead body hanging. Like, obviously they're not ethical really about anything they're making decisions about.
I think, like you said, it's 100% on the Paul brothers when it comes to the blame. I even think that the news outlets did the right thing, because if I were a parent and I knew my child was watching these YouTubers frequently, and I saw it on the news that they did all this stuff, not only would it taint the impact that these creators have on like my family or just me in general, it would taint it so negatively that I would know what to do after that point. If I was like a parent out of the loop, I would have had no idea that was going on because I'm not watching the content, you know? So I think the Paul brothers did something extremely unethical, and I think the news outlets, even though they did, you know, get a lot of people to look at those articles and videos and stuff, I think that they did the right thing by putting it out there to all the people who are out of the loop.
I kind of want to play devil's advocate here, because without that news coverage, I would never have known either Paul brother even existed, because I was just that out of the loop. But because it was everywhere, I knew about them and I knew what they did. And I'm not alone in that fact. So all of a sudden, I'm curious. I'm going to look up more about what they did. I'm going to look up some other videos in which they might be doing some terrible stuff. So, like, if it weren't for that news coverage, would the thing have even been blown out of proportion?
I agree with you. I kind of am on the same place as you, as I didn't really know about them by the time this video came out, and I like still remember the thumbnail of the video because of how crazy that video was. And I went down the rabbit hole of like looking into them and seeing what they did, because I know one of like they're boxers. Like I remember that fact about them, that they used to like all do MMA. Learning, like having that influence from it spreading so far, I still remember stuff about them because I don't watch them, but I still know because of this thing that happened.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know about Logan or Jake Paul before this happened, and I don't keep up with them still. But I did hear about the like Forrest and the whole suicide thing. Even if I didn't know like the whole story, like I knew these guys aren't, you know, the greatest of people, and they just want money. That's what my pre-assessment was of them. Like just hearing about this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know how many subscribers Logan Paul had at the time, but currently he has 15 million. So he reaches a huge audience of people. And to post something like this is just, it's despicable. His moral compass is off.
A huge thing a huge reason as to why people watch him is because most of his videos is him just flaunting his wealth on camera and showing that, oh, this is where you can be if you get popular on YouTube. And then any kid that wants to be a content creator sees how much traction he gets for some of these videos. They're like, oh, I want to create stuff similar to this so I can be this wealthy. You know, like I think his content has a huge impact on younger audiences, and I think it's a huge impact in a very negative way.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree.